This is verse 5 of the sixth chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus is warning his followers against religious pretense, carrying on various kinds of religious activity, but mostly to be seen and applauded by people. Of course, he's mentioned doing acts of mercy. He also talks about religious disciplines and especially highlights here prayer. So in the fifth verse we have kai, the connective hotan. This is from hota, which is when, and ian, which means if. But put together, it means the idea of whenever. It takes the subjunctive, so we have the subjunctive here. So whenever would be the idea. This is second person plural. Present middle informed subjunctive, so whenever you pray is the idea. Then the prohibition, uk, the negation with ethsistha. This is the future of me, second person plural. Future active indicative, whenever you pray, do not be, would be the idea. Hos, just as. This is a particle. Hoi hypocritai, the hypocrites. Word he used earlier is technically a mask that was used in dramatic presentations. Came to mean, of course, public dishonesty, you might say, being one thing while holding yourself out as something else. So do not be as the hypocrites. Hoti, the conjunction, means because. In this case, philusin, from phileo, I love. Third person plural, present active indicative, because they love. They have great affection. They love in preposition with the genitive, or with the dative plural, in tais synagogais. They love in the synagogues. Kai in tais goniais. This is the word that means a corner. It could mean an intersection. It's probably the idea here. The suggestion is to be in a place of some notable visibility. So in the corners, tone plation of the streets. So it's the idea of standing there where there's going to be a fair amount of traffic, and once again it would be the idea of doing what you're doing to be seen. Estotes, this is from histemi, means to stand. It's in the perfect, so it's the idea of standing there, and it carries a little bit of additional weight. Standing there, pros ukesthai, to pray. So don't be like those who love to stand in the synagogues and in the corners of the streets to pray. Hopos, this is, again, somewhat similar to henna. It means in order that, takes the subjunctive. Here we have the subjunctive phanosin, from phaneo. Literally means to shine, same word that Jesus uses when he says, let your light shine. So it's a rather strong word. This is the third person plural, present active indicative. In order to shine would be literally the idea. That is to be quite conspicuous. Tois, anthropos, with respect to men. Shining to men, shining before them, making yourself conspicuous before them. Jesus says, Amen. Prefacing his remark here to add weight to it, lego, I say, first person singular, present active indicative, who men, indirect object, dative plural, I say to you, apekusin. This is from echo, I have. Ap echo means to have from, literally, and it means a more emphatic idea of owning something, having it fully in your possession, which is exactly the sense here. Amen, I say to you, they fully have. Ton misthon, the reward, the repayment, more the idea of a reward in this case, however. Auton, the genitive plural, possessive third-person pronoun, so they have the reward of them. So Jesus once again is driving home the idea that we are certainly called to religious behavior of various kinds, but we should be very careful who it is that we're hoping to impress by virtue of these religious practices, and warning us against doing them just to be recognized, seen, and applauded by the public.